Hello and welcome to the Potter's Peak channel. Today we are going over how to finish and sand your pottery. So first things first, I wanted to show you guys this bowl. I know I did a YouTube video previously and I made this bowl in it. So I haven't showed you guys the finished results yet. I like to kind of show you guys what things actually turn out to look like when I don't show you guys the finished pot. But I've got a little pile here and I want to show you guys how to get them all ready to be sold. So let's start with some grinding sandpaper. You can literally pick this up at Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever you go, Harbor Freight. And you're going to need a tiny bucket of water because we always want to sand with a little bit of water. Let's talk about why sanding the bottoms of our pots actually matters. So if you ever buy something and they did not sand it, when you put it down on your counters, say you have really nice like tables or counters, it will scratch them. So we don't want that to happen. A lot of people buy our pottery and, pottery is expensive. So you want that high quality finish. So we're going to make sure to give that to our customers. And it just really gives that next level of professionalism. Finishing your pottery properly is really, really important when you're selling high value art. I have heard of people that actually sand their pots before they glaze them. I have never done this before. I don't really know the benefits to that. I personally wouldn't because it causes dust, but I keep hearing about it. So if you guys do that, put it in the comments. Let me know why or what advantages you've seen of that. I'm actually kind of curious. I've been doing pottery for a long time, but I always sand right after the glaze firing because that's when it's fully finished. We do our mid-range fire, so we fire to a cone 6, and everything is done. All of our clay and glazes are all vitrified and beautiful, and we want to make sure that they're all nice and finished. So that's when I personally sand, except for this little guy. I'm actually not going to sand him because he's a little match scratcher, so it's going to hold matches, and then you can light the match onto the pot. I'm really excited about this. I have a YouTube video on this one as well, so you guys kind of see the before I actually even show you guys how to make that. And you guys can see I test the sandness on my wrist. I'm going to slowly grind my tattoo off probably. One of these days you guys are going to be like, you don't have a tattoo anymore. It's because of pottery. I have sanded it gone, okay, when I test my pots. But I have all these little minis too. And this one turned out so cute. I'm so proud of my little minis. I don't know why. I just think they're cute. These are all thrown off the hump. So I don't really show you guys a lot of my finished pieces because pottery takes a long time and I try to make sure to show you guys how to make things, but I'm trying to get better at showing you guys finished work as well. Let's take a second and talk about what clay bodies really need to be sanded, which in my professional opinion, I really do think that you should sand all of your pots, any clay body. It really depends. Obviously, if you are using porcelain, it's going to be a lot softer, but I still think just sanding it very, very lightly is so important. When you have more groggy clay bodies, like in this, almost all of these pieces, if not all of these pieces, are actually made with Laguna Speckled buff. And they have a lot of iron in them. So that's that speckle. And it really pulls out that rough and rigidy feeling. So you really do have to sand that grit away. And I really even if I'm using a B mix from Laguna, I still sand it. If I'm using porcelain, I still sand it. You just don't have to sit here and sand as much. It's not going to be as gritty, so it's a lot faster to sand, but I still really think that you should take the second to make sure everything's smooth and nicely finished. At the beginning of this video, I showed you guys the sandpaper that I'm using, but there is also a ton of different grits. There's a ton of different, Diamond Core has a ton. I'll show you guys at the end of this video. I have a few of Diamond Core's sandpaper, bats. And they are phenomenal. Best thing ever invented in my entire life. The only reason I'm not using those right now is because there's a lot of people inside the studio and grinding inside. And even when you're, putting water on the sandpaper and all of that, it's loud. And for you guys who see us as a YouTube video, we are actually also a coffee shop. So one side is a coffee shop, the other side is a pottery studio, and it's all glass windows. And the people on the pottery side, there's not really a wall. There's a glass wall, but it doesn't go all the way to the ceiling. So whatever you do on the pottery side, you can really hear on the coffee shop side. And we also don't allow anybody in the studio to sand their pots. They have to take them home. Because it causes so much dust, we don't want anybody getting cancer. We want to just eliminate all of the aspects of anybody that is new, not knowing how to properly do it, or, something happen. God forbid, because that would be terrible. But we want to make sure that everybody is sanding properly. And so we ask everybody to just take it home just because, it does cause dust. There's a lot of health risks with pottery. And as we know, silicosis is a huge one. So that's why wetting your sandpaper is so important. And I'm wetting my sandpaper and I'm outside. And some people even wear a mask when they do this. I'm risking it for the biscuit, okay? I don't wear masks with this, but that's not my professional advice. So do that with what as you will, okay? But with that said, I'm not dry sanding. So I don't really need a mask because I am wetting everything. If I was dry sanding, then you really do need to take the 5 seconds and put on a mask, a dust mask, so then you don't have to worry about it getting into your lungs. We don't want that here, you guys. But I'm just sanding away and it's going to be like a fast little video. I just really wanted to show you guys how to finish your pieces. And once I'm done with this, I actually wipe them all down. I add them into our inventory. I usually take photos of them and then get them into the system. I am on like a mission today, so I'm not going to have time to take photos of these guys, but I am going to get them in the system and on our shelves. They are just not going online because of that, because they won't have any photos. So these ones will be in our store only. We have a lot of stuff at the Potterspeak that is store only, but once we get photos and everything, then they go up on our website for sale. One of the other things I like to tell people is I'm a big texture person. So if I'm grabbing a handle, I really want that handle to be very smooth. And I put that into my work. So like I make sure as I'm like sanding, I make sure every aspect of my rim and my handles are very soft to the touch. I don't want anything like going up into my mouth when I'm drinking out of a coffee cup and it be rough and rigid. I would not be able to handle that very well. I am so texture. I can barely handle soup 99% of the time. So I make sure that when I'm finishing my pots, if anybody else has like sensory stuff like that they won't have a problem with my pottery. It will all be very, very soft. Even though it looks kind of rough, because I definitely like that like desert, like gritty texture kind of style, everything is actually really soft. So even though it looks a little bit more rough with my glazes, it's not. I very much, I just, it's such a silly thing, but yeah, I can barely handle. We went to a coffee shop that had coconut shavings in their drinks, and I was like, oh, absolutely not. I'll never order that because I could not even drink it if I wanted to. Just the thought of it was like yucky to me. But here I am just sanding every little aspect. If it has rock lay, it is getting sanded. So I'm just kind of cleaning up and showing you guys. I really wanted to show you guys how I finish these because I've talked about it a lot in the studio, but I've never actually made a video on it. So these are just some of the pots. I've got a large chip and dip platter, and then I also did a YouTube video on this guy where it was a cake stand, like a pedestal cake stand. But I wanted to show you guys the diamond core sanding pads that we have. So I have 2 of them. The blue one is a medium grit. It's like a 120. And then the red one is a 240, which is like super fine. So, and they are already attached. They come pre-attached to bats, which is so nice. You just literally plop these on your wheel, get them wet, and sand away. And it's absolutely amazing when there's not people in the studio. I could do this over and over and over again, but I'm just kind of showing you guys. I don't know why I looked so unhappy in this, but I really was just trying to show you, like, this is stuck. It's there. It's great. They're amazing. They are diamond core grits, and diamond core literally lasts forever. So I will link them below so you guys can mess with them and see if you guys like them. But I hope you guys kind of learned something from these and got some info out of how to finish your pots. And then always make sure to use water with them when you put them on your bats. This was me explaining that in my head. You don't ever want to dry sand with these. Some people even have like little tubes that they hook up into their like wheel and it drips on their bat as they're sanding. maybe one day I'll show you guys how to create one of those, because that is a great way of doing it as well. So I hope you guys learned something and figured out how to sand your pots. I'm going to go probably get a new cup of coffee because this has been sitting outside. It is officially in the hundreds here in Arizona, and I'm going to clean up my mess. But be sure to follow us along and let me know in the comments below what kind of videos you guys want to see next. What is something you're wanting to create? Because I need some help finding ideas to make things for you guys. And I hope everybody has a beautiful rest of their week. And hopefully you guys go like hiking or something before summer happens. So subscribe to us, follow us, tell me what you want to learn, and I got you. Bye, you guys.